It has not gone unnoticed, on this channel at least, that CEO of the Walt Disney Company forever, Bob Iger, does not seem to have the same step, the same stride that he once had. His tenure prior to Bob Chapek seemed like he was flawless, the king of charisma. Yet he has returned with 2 left feet, and both of them in his mouth. He continues to stumble verbally, continues to step the Walt Disney Company into trouble. And now he is backpedaling severely, as he told many of his employees, perhaps on accident and perhaps not, that they are non-core. All right, folks, it is a beautiful day out there, and we hope you are enjoying it. And if you're not, hang in there. Blue skies will be on the way once more, once again. They always are. You just have to hang in there long enough to see them through. Bob Iger may be thinking the exact same thing. He needs blue skies once again. It's only too bad that he shuffled off poor little Mr. Bluebird from Splash Mountain and Song of the South. He could be sitting on Bob Iger's shoulder, but he said, no, 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 we don't want any more of you. And guess what? The folks over at ABC and some of those TV networks, they're probably feeling the same as Mr. Bluebird. They also have been told that they no longer matter. They're sort of like Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, Brer Bear, except they're Brer ABC, Brer NatGeo, etc. How's it feel to have that cape on you, fellas? Oh, and gals as well. Well, Iger, he came out of ABC as a weatherman. That's his originating source, right? Kathleen Kennedy, she's a coffee lady. Bob Iger, he tells you when it's going to rain. And rain it is at the Walt Disney Company. Raining with complaints, as the folks over there in the TV, linear television division, they're so angry at Bob Iger because he has said that they are non-core, that he may sell their divisions. And why? Well, folks, he needs to buy Hulu, even if the rest of the media outlets out there won't tell you that's what's happening. You know what, though? We do, and as we do, let's dive into a conversation from the Pro Show where we chatted about this very thing. As we do, folks, remember that the Pro Show is live Thursdays, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, each and every week. And this next week, guess who's coming back this time? Hopefully we'll have him for 2 straight hours. Eric July. There's a lot of July in July. Bob Iger out of CNN by Oliver Darcy. Bob Iger moves to calm Disney staff after sparking high anxiety over potential sale of TV assets. This is what we've been talking about. Don't forget, folks, that it was just a few months ago that they all thought that Bob Iger was going to ride into town, send Bob Chapek out, and he was going to bring glory back to the divisions of Disney. Instead, it has been everything but. It turns out that Chapek may have realized what was going down, and now that Iger is there, all he can do is flounder in his poor decision-making. And I'll say this, too. When it comes to Bob Iger, the charisma levels are not the same as they once were, and the steadfast quickness he once had in his ability to answer difficult questions and situations definitely has, shall we say, receded a bit. Here's the article, though. Bob Iger is seeking to reassure an anxious arm of Disney's business. In an off-site meeting on Tuesday, the Disney chief executive spoke to senior leaders of the company's television businesses, CNN has learned. The meeting came just days after Iger made decidedly candid remarks to CNBC's David Faber. By the way, we covered that as soon as it happened, in which he said Disney's linear business may not be core to the entertainment giant, a comment that immediately sent shockwaves through the industry. The admission of Faber naturally set off alarm bells inside Disney general entertainment content. And am I mistaken, or is that Dana Walden's area?
Yep. And Alan Bergman.
Yes, and so, I mean, absolutely. So we're talking about some big names here who likely had their toes stepped on, smashed, unless you presume that they knew this was coming. And I don't think that Iger made this kind of a statement unless they already knew. The division of the Magic Kingdom that houses its linear businesses and operates quintessential broadcasting cable networks such as ABC, the Disney Channel, National Geographic, FX, and by the way, there's more to this than just these. Employees in the sizable division have been experiencing high anxiety. I can't imagine why. Sources noted to me, and with them adding that Iger had effectively left staff in the dark. We said this would happen by not communicating directly with them since the stunning interview. There have been no company-wide memos, no town halls, nothing but silence since Iger jolted the organization with the news. It sounds like he is communicating with them about as well as he's been communicating with Lucasfilm, i.e. there have been no big meetings anywhere. This company is simply on fire. So here's the deal, folks. Bob Iger, looking at this company right now.
Put that back up. Put that back up. There's a wonderful quote on there. Just how dumb Iger was here.
Right, go for it. Read it to us, Jonas, while I look up one thing quickly. Go for
it. And Iger talked up the importance of ABC News. I'm ridiculously passionate about news, Iger said.
Oh, I bet he is.
Isn't he trying to sell it?
I think that'd be pretty smart. I mean, I do seem to recall he might be pretty passionate about that one pretty lady that had that interview with Carrie Fisher, and Carrie Fisher went all gaga over how pretty she was. That lady, and I'm being vague here on purpose. I know who it is. She also talked about a certain story about a certain guy who had an island and lots of people flying to it, and somebody high up at ABC, or maybe the company that owns ABC, killed that story about that guy. That definitely
oh
yeah. She was like, I had all this. I had all this information.
Wasn't that the movie Castaway?
Yeah.
I might think of something else.
I would bet he's ridiculously passionate about the news. That's all I have to say about that. All right, Pro. You ready?
The news anyways.
Well, I just want to say that I'm looking at the Disney stock price, folks. We are not here to give you financial advice. Please do not construe what I'm going to say in any way as reason for you to make any kind of decision financially in terms of the Walt Disney Company or more. But I will say that the Walt Disney Company, at the closing of today in terms of the market over here in the U.S., they had the second worst result in terms of their overall stock value that they've had in the past year. And consistently, this company in the past year has tickled the very lowest point that it's had in the last 5 years. Now, it's important to note when we're talking about what Bob Iger is dealing with, that the very lowest this company was in the last 5 years was the day that the stock market crashed because of the pandemic, when people didn't know, could movies still be made? Could people still go to theme parks? You know, what was going to happen there? And so, of course, the company just crashed. It cratered. Well, consistently now, this company with none of that, no reason for it to be down there like that. There is no giant travesty out there waiting to happen. This company is tickling that low constantly and could drop below very soon. This is a company that is unmoored from reality. And Bob Iger, of course, now, the whole world has realized what's going on because he's trying to yard sell this stuff, right? He's out there just talking about, well, we could sell FX, we could sell NatGeo, we could sell, our family channels and what have you. That we could sell the Disney Channel. But the bottom line here is they need to buy Hulu. And the reason for all of these speculations about what they could sell is because they don't have the money anymore. And they have to buy Hulu. And they don't have the money.
I did have one question that was going back to the whole selling thing before you started the videos. Do you mean all this could have been prevented if Bob Iger or whoever was in charge at the time, I know that Chapek was there too, if Disney actually decided to sell us good entertaining products at the beginning and not have what we see from Pixar, Disney, Lucasfilm, and everything like that, rather than selling off their assets to buy Hulu, they could have actually just given the fans what they wanted and kept going with the franchise, and they would be here right now. And Iger doesn't look good. You've seen him. He looks like the way, I'm not going political, Obama did coming out of office. It's the same thing. You can see the stress, the hair change, the face, the wrinkles. I don't understand how companies work like this. And I didn't mean to derail this.
Let me put it this way, Stephen. You bring up a fantastic point. Very glad you're here today with us to talk about this. Here's the deal. Iger has all the money in the world. Iger has all the fame in the world. Iger had a track record that was unassailable for years and years and years. But Iger is like the poker player who has won every single game he's ever played, and suddenly he can't get a single card to go his way, and he has lost all of his chips, that being the cachet at the Disney company. And it doesn't matter to Iger what he's done all throughout his lifetime.
He needs more.
He's in this moment. And in this moment, Iger is a loser for the past year, and he can't get a win, and he's never been there before, in my opinion. In fact, let's take a look at
just how gambling addiction. It's kind of like a gambling addiction. He's constantly looking for that win. He's looking for that next rise to fame. Like the way we look at cloud as a disease, it's the same thing with him, it sounds like.
Well, when Chapek was winning, then that made Iger seem like he was not so important. And so Chapek had to go, and Iger came back, and now we're here. But take a look at this quote out of CNN, okay? And remember, CNN should be just fabulously friendly with Iger, right? Throughout history, that's how this would have gone. Here's what it says. It's great to say he loves the jewel, this being the linear broadcast, this being ABC. It's great to say that the jewel is important. It's great to say that the jewel is fun, the Disney insider said. But he has revealed the truth. He wants to get the highest price he can for the jewel. And here is the knife in the back, because he can't afford it anymore. In other words, the Walt Disney Company cannot afford their linear broadcast divisions.
Right.
What
and
a thing to say.
This is the thing. And I have to walk back what I had said a week ago about Bob Iger being a master communicator. What I didn't realize when I said that is that he obviously had not told his divisions, or if he passed it on to the division heads like Alan Bergman and Dana Walden, that they didn't pass it on to their people. So now he's having to backpedal and say, no, we definitely value you as a company and you are great employees. But of course, the other side of that is that he hopes that someone else values them at a higher value than they are to the Walt Disney Company now.
And how do you come back to work after the big boss just said that you don't matter? And that's what he did.
Not core, right?
Not core.
Well, just not to go back to the Barbie conversation, but that's actually said about Ken in the film.
Right. So ABC has been kinned.
That's right.
Take that.
and something else just to add on to all that, whatever happens moving forward, like if you look at the Disney lineup of content that they're going to be dropping, Iger knows that he has no money coming in the rest of this year. None. Zero.
Well, what was it we just saw?
And on top of that, he knows that even if he was going to turn it around and do a change of course, like if somebody was to buy Lucasfilm or change course on any of these properties, like it's literally going to take, like 5 years to get all that stuff in order to actually end up trying to even turn it around. So it's not something that he can just do, at the flip of a switch and then boom, everything's changed and going in the right direction. This is going to take a long time for them to fix, if it ever gets fixed under Disney.
Nick, you forgot it's going to be about 10 years for fans as well, because the long terms are gone. So you're looking at 5 years to make a franchise sustainable, and another 5 years to 10 years on top of that for fans to even turn their heads and look at Disney as something for not only their families, but for themselves. And that's the damage that is the toxin within their company.
Stephen, wouldn't you agree? And I think probably everybody else, I guess it's the same question. They lost multiple generations at this point. They pushed away the ones that...
The old guard is gone.
Yeah, they willingly got rid of all of the 50-year-olds, and at the time when this state, I was still in my 40s when Kathleen Kennedy said that idiotic thing.
But you nailed it. Tradition. They've killed the tradition of Disney, and that's what's going now.
So they lost the 2 generations there, and then they lost the generations of the kids that those people would have taken to the films.
And taught the trade and taught the arts, because especially sometimes they would want to work at Disney too. Like it's like tradition is not just going to Disney like once a year or whatever. The tradition is also the people that work there. They love Disney, want to work there for one reason. Imagineers had a title, it had a meaning, right? It was something of prominence because you got to create something for everyone, and that's what Disney is not doing now.
Right. Just to add to that concept of the Disney adult right now, they tend to be marketing towards single women and men who do not intend to breed.
Yep.
They don't have
beta males.
Yeah.
The problem is that particular demographic that they're going after, Jonas, they're aging out of Disney.
Yeah. They don't have anything to pass on to the next generation other than narcissism.
Well, true, but my point is that the dinks, right? The double income, no kids, and the same sex folks, they're all aging out of Disney. They're all aging out.
Now that was a great conversation, one that was lots and lots of fun, but also highly explanatory. We hope, folks, that it keeps you ahead of the culture curve and helps you understand exactly what is happening at the Walt Disney Company in a way that other outlets just do not do. Bob Iger in a lot of hot water. Can he get out of there? We will find out. One thing we need from all of you, though, is if you want us to continue to disseminate messages such as this, please click the like button, share, subscribe. And when you click it, you do stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. We would love to hear what you have to say about this situation. And folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.